I'm Dave Williams and I designed the LFC 2013-14 Postcard Series. Probably describe myself as a graphic designer. I always think the word artist is a bit pretentious. I've always loved designing stuff and I've loved Liverpool, so it's been quite a nice kind of nice way of combining my two passions really into a single project.
Dave Williams' colourful postcard series brilliantly encapsulates the highs and lows of Liverpool's remarkable campaign. A graphic designer for almost 10 years, his passion for the Reds dates back much earlier.
I went to my first game as a Liverpool fan with my dad and my older brother, and we stood in the Kop. It's the only time I ever stood in the Kop. I think Liverpool played Sheffield United. It's the second to last game before the Kop was knocked down. I think Liverpool lost as well, so it wasn't a very good start to a supporter's kind of journey.
The season-long postcard project was a labour of love for the local designer, inspired by the most unlikely source.
I saw some posters online for the TV show Breaking Bad, and an artist had designed a poster for every episode of the programme, and I thought that was a really nice way of summing up a really long year's worth of content into single images. It just kind of grew organically. I did the first postcards. After the first game of the season, there was that Daniel Sturridge winner, and his little celebration was quite an iconic moment, and I thought that would make a nice image. So yeah, it just grew from there really. I don't think I ever anticipated it kind of growing in the way that it did.
Win, lose or draw, after every game Williams would spend hours on his computer crafting the unique designs, always at the mercy of the Reds' results.
I'd love to say that I watched games and illustrated stuff as it went or made notes, but I didn't really. I just watched them as a fan and enjoyed it as much as I could. Style-wise, I almost used it as an excuse to experiment for myself as well as anything else. So the first couple of postcards were quite illustrative and almost cartoony. They were just capturing moments that had happened during that game. And then as the season went on, I started experimenting with different things. So some of the postcards are a bit more kind of infographic driven, made up out of data and kind of little icons or based on statistics or records that were broken during that game. I've got no control over the content, so it's quite a nice design challenge that you're just watching the game hoping that something's going to happen, and thankfully most games it did really. Probably my favourite postcard would be the Man United 3-0 win. It's good enough really beating Man United away at Old Trafford, but I think the fact that Gerrard ran over and kissed the camera and recreated that famous moment from a few years ago, there was times like that during the season when if stuff like that happened I was just made up, because it meant that my postcard was done really. That was the image that I was going to use, and it's probably the best selling postcard I've done out of all of them, because people seem to love that particular shot, and just the memory of going to Old Trafford and winning 3-0 is really, it doesn't happen all the time. Yeah, well this was the Crystal Palace postcard. It was definitely the most difficult out of all of the set. I think just the way that the game went, it was difficult just mentally, because it was the last thing I really wanted to do, and it was almost like if I'd not done 36 others before that, then I wouldn't have bothered.
The draw at Selhurst Park all but ended our title hopes, and Liverpool fans everywhere felt a similar sense of disappointment. But how would Postcard 38 have looked had the Reds topped the table?
I think it was just going to design itself, wasn't it really? So many people were tweeting me and emailing me saying it's got to be Stevie G lifting the trophy, and that would have been it. Yeah, I think that would have pretty much designed itself, but the fact that it's been such an incredible season has definitely helped. I've never been short of inspiration really, because it's just been such a great year.
When he embarked on this project back in August, Dave Williams had a full-time design job and created the postcards in his spare time. But thanks in part to the success of this series, he now has his own design company, and he won't rule out another season illustrating the Reds' trials and tribulations.
That 38th game, it was quite a nice relief to finish and to do a whole set and not run out of ideas. And I thought then, I'm never doing this again, but I don't know, by the time August comes around and that excitement of a new season, plus Champions League football as well, it's probably going to be another good season, too good to miss.
For more information about the collection and to view it in full, visit davewilldesign.com.